Hey, I'm Fee. I'm creating a series where I'll be doing a deep dive into the Legend of Zelda official timeline. I'll play each game and explain the events and why it fits where it does. I'll also explore important characters, places, and items. Before I jump into any lore or story, there are a few things that I need you to understand about the laws of the Legend of Zelda universe. These concepts come from Buddhist and Japanese beliefs and are not an exact representation of their religion. Also, I am defining these in my own words and understanding of how it applies to the Legend of Zelda universe. Let's first start with the concept of karma. Karma is the sum of an individual's actions and other sentiment towards them in present and previous existences that influence their future. For example, if you're a good person in your current existence, then you are going to carry that to future existences. The same goes for those you have impacted. Their opinion of you will influence your aura in future lives indefinitely. This concept also applies to a bad person who accumulates negative sentiments. Not to imply that the karma can't be changed, just would be difficult to sway. Let's talk about the concept of samsara. Samsara is the cycle of death and rebirth fueled by karma. The stronger a person's karma is, the more powerful that karma will affect their next cycle. Now, let's jump in. Before there was anything, there was chaos, where gods and goddesses thrived. There were these golden goddesses who decided to join together and begin the labor of creation. They descended from a distant nebula upon the chaos where Hyrule will be formed. Altogether, they are referred to as the three golden goddesses. And, with their labor completed, created a symbol of their prestige, a golden triangle, called the Triforce. The golden goddesses returned to their rightful place among the stars to watch their creation from afar. At the location of their departure, they made a realm that would house the Triforce, the sacred realm. They tasked a fledgling goddess to guide the world's inhabitants and protect the Triforce. The sacred realm is not only the home of the Triforce, but also a mirror that will reflect the heart of the one who enters to claim it. If their heart is pure, it shall be paradise. If their heart is evil, then it will be hell. As a realm between the God's world and the living one, the sacred realm was sealed away only to be opened by one whom is worthy of such power. The seal was first known as the Temple of Hylia, named after the goddess devoted to protect the life the three golden goddesses created. Thereafter, the Sage of Time was tasked to protect the sacred realm, now more commonly called the Temple of Time. What is the Triforce? Within it holds the essence of the goddesses themselves, and they left it to guide the intelligent life of Hyrule. The Triforce consists of three pieces of triangles, each representing one of the three golden goddesses. The Triforce of Power represents Den, the Triforce of Wisdom representing Naru, and the Triforce of Courage representing Feore. The Triforce can both be physical and incorporeal depending on the game. It can grant the wish of whoever obtains it, regardless of motive, unlike the goddesses. The stronger the wish, the more the wish will come true, due to its ability to amplify. The Triforce also has the ability to bestow 3 titles, which give great powers to the individual. In order to be bestowed a title, the person must have a strong samsara cycle that matches each part of the Triforce that is bestowed upon them. The one bestowed with the Triforce of Wisdom is the Keeper of Knowledge. They will gain healing abilities, they can be telepathic, and will only have limited mystical power. The one bestowed with the Triforce of Power is known as the Forger of Strength. They are granted invulnerability, vast strength, and unlimited mystical power. And the one bestowed with the Triforce of Courage is the Juror of Courage. They get protection from magic, the power of transformation, and they have the ability to repel shadow. To obtain the full Triforce and get a wish, the individual must have a balanced heart with strength, wisdom, and courage. If they are not balanced, the Triforce will separate, leaving only one piece that best represents the individual. To grant their wish, they must find the other two chosen by the Triforce and bring them together. Hyrule. Beautiful and prosperous, the land of Hyrule is blessed with deep forests, tall mountains, vast lakes, barren desert, great cities, homey villages, and many ancient temples, rich with history and treasures. The kingdom of Hyrule was established by the goddess Hylia to protect the residents from the demon tribe and others who seek the Triforce for their own. Over the plot of 19 main games, the land of Hyrule is a setting of many wars waged for the power left by the three golden goddesses or those just seeking destruction. Now that we have gone over the laws of the Legend of Zelda universe, we will apply this to the lore, starting with our main characters. Din, goddess of power. With her strong flaming arms, she cultivated the land and dyed the mountains red with fire. Naru, goddess of wisdom. With her depths of knowledge, she poured the spirit of law, science, and wizardry into the world and brought order. Feori, goddess of courage. With her rich soul, she created all life forms with justice and vigor who would uphold these laws. The goddess Hylia, also known as the goddess of light. She was tasked to protect the Triforce and be a guide to the life of Hyrule. It is through her blessing that anyone can enter the sacred realm. Much of her story will be unfolded through the games. Demise. The first antagonist of the Legend of Zelda timeline, also referred to as the Bringer of Demise in the Japanese version, and the Demon King Demise. Jealous and offended by the Golden Goddess's display of power in his darkness and chaos, this god was going to taint and destroy what they created. Fabricating the Demon Clan, Demise waged a war to obtain the Triforce and rule both the light world created by the goddesses and the sacred realm. Ganondorf, the main and most well-known antagonist of the Legend of Zelda. About 14 of the 19 main titles are plagued by Ganondorf. He is also known as Ganon when he is in his beast form. Ganondorf is born as the only male birthed as Gerudo. As so, typically in line to be chief of the powerful Gerudo tribe. Due to his greed, jealousy, and anger, he is not well liked, and his karma is negative, leaving his next rebirth to be less redeemable. Being born into so much potential, Ganondorf is bestowed the Triforce of Power. There are games where he starts in his beast form too. Ganon is a brash monster whom only seeks to consume life and destroy the world. Zelda, named after the first Hylian princess. Zelda is the born princess of Hyrule. She is dedicated to the survival and prosperity of her people, often depicted as a priestess of Hylia, knowledgeable of her kingdom and its history. She's not always confident in herself and her abilities. She recognizes that many problems require multiple insights to gain the most favorable outcomes. This is why Zelda is blessed with the Triforce of Wisdom. Due to her grace in being a loving ruler, Zelda has positive karma, for the most part. Link, the protagonist of The Legend of Zelda, and the link between the player and the game. He is born Hylian among the common folk, often in humble upbringings. He faces challenges with virtue and sees it through to an end, though not always enthusiastic or optimistic of its outcome. self-reliant, he is likely to run headstrong into trouble without waiting for backup or asking for help. Link has a tendency to be overzealous of his ability and thus causes him to be overwhelmed. He cares deeply for the living things around him and often seeks to resolve their distress, no matter how small. Link is loved by most who he crosses paths and rarely lets anger or jealousy sway his conscience. Because of these traits, he is bestowed the Triforce of Courage and has positive karma. With all of this in mind, we are ready to apply it to each game in the Legend of Zelda. Thank you so much for your time. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!